in terms of the relationships that you probably messed up in your youth, doing whatever you were doing, living the life that you were living, how much of those relationships have you mended since that time? Or has it been, that's just one part of the life and I've pushed that away?
Nah, that's a great question. A couple of them I have, being with Arbitello. So my little brother, Jalen Lewis, he ended up going to Christ the King and playing there for 3 years. And me and all sat down and we talked for about 2 hours. And it was things that I left unsaid because I was just so much worried about shaking it up with him and then getting my brother in there that I regret unsaying it. Ways I felt, ways I feel like, he kind of left me for dead. Like, people don't know, like, I was his first recruit, and I'm from Coney Island. You know how big that is? Like, so for him to dive in and go get a Coney Island kid as his first recruit as, head coach at Christ the King is big. So we was, like, kind of making history together. And he'll tell you that. Like, he told me that, like, we was kind of both fresh and young. And you was like, I was bringing in, I was like, we on ESPN. I'm bringing in the cameras. He got to do interviews. Every high major school is coming to see me. It's just like, it's a lot. So I get his standpoint of it, but it's like, you're supposed to hold me down. I mean, you're supposed to keep it 10 toes and hold me down 1,000%.
And we're back here, another installment, SwayReporting Live one-on-one sit-downs. We're back, man. I know it's been a little minute. There's been a little gap in between episodes, but we're back. We have an esteemed guest. I'm not going to introduce my guests. I always like to say every one of my guests are special. And I believe I definitely do have a special guest, so introduce yourself to the people, and why are you here today?
What's goody, man? It's your boy Isaiah Lewis. You know what I'm saying? I'm here just clear the air, you know what I mean? Tell my story a little bit. I think it's a confusing narrative, you know what I mean, between me, New York City, basketball. So, I just want to kind of explain the real truths of what happened, you know what I mean, who I am as a basketball player and a person, you know what I mean. So I think this is the best platform to do it for me.
Well, all right. First and foremost, thank you for feeling like this is the platform where you would want to clear the air, change the narrative that you feel is false. Because we're all about authenticity over here. SwayReporting Live and the guys in the background, shout out to them. We all like authentic work. So first, let's start it off from Coney Island, right? So first and foremost, I already know where that comes from, the drive, the names that are behind it. Just talk about you growing up, adolescence, young adolescence, not the high school part of it, more going up in middle school, junior high school. Talk about that growing up, mindset, family-wise, friend-wise. Just talk about that.
I mean, I got a saying, you know what I mean, Coney Island made me. And I'm a kind of die by that. Like, I got Coney Island tattooed on me, you know what I mean? So it's going to go to the grave with me. I got everything from there. My mindset, my toughness, all of my family is from there. My mother and my father is from there. All of my uncles. I got an uncle that, played Division I basketball at McNeese State, small D1 in Louisiana. Scored 1,000 there, played in an NCAA tournament, played overseas. So, like, everything that you get out of me is Coney Island, you know what I mean? And, like, two of my best friends, Ethan Telfield and Kelly Davis, like, we kind of grew up together, you know what I mean, same building. And it's very unique because it's a lot of us. Like, it's a lot, you know what I mean? And, all of us got different stories, different paths.
Yeah.
And I'm from 31st Street, you know what I mean? So I'm from the same building as Sebastian, Jamel Thomas, 530, Stephon Marbury. And so, that lineage right there, I was spoiled. I tell people all the time I was spoiled because I was able to see Steph pull up, you know what I mean, with the being $100 million car. Then,
Facts.
530 came through, he making a bag overseas. Then Bassie. So it was just like I didn't really have to go far. They was all coming back to the block.
So I don't want to cut you off. So because I know we can lead down a lot with this Coney Island lineage and these names, but we could start with the Ethan Telfair, Sebastian Telfair, the same building. And when I talked to Lance, and not Lance, but when I talked to Whitehead, and he tells me how he was in the same building with Lance growing up, and how Coney Island is real tight knit. I want to ask you, what are those inner Coney Island talkings like?
Yeah.
Because you see the OGs have made it.
Uh-huh.
And then so you're coming up and you're trying to see, okay, what's the blueprint? What I got to do? What I got to do here? What was that connection that you guys have, and where does that come from?
I think it all started from who came before us. So like for me and for Ethan, it was Steph, Five, and Bassie. Growing up, obviously we was more closer age group wise to Bassie, but knowing that Steph and Five did it, they touched the bread and they made it. It was just like, yo, we gonna ask the questions we need to ask, and so it was more so of a thing when Steph, having the camp, having the tournament, having that stuff for us, then Bassie making it and doing that stuff for us, and then Five, taking us out to PA when he used to live in PA, the big house, and training us and stuff like that. That was like the blueprint. You know what I mean? They just wanted to show us what the work is like to get there, and that was kind of what we took from it. Like I tell people all the time, like it's not a like, I don't know, like the fact that we got so much history, it comes from, the work we put in too. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just given. Like, Steph had to earn that. He had all his brothers that came before him that didn't make it, and he was the one to make it. Had to earn that. Five, leading the Big East in scoring, did not get drafted. I mean, still playing 2 years in the NBA. He had to earn that. Bassie, making it damn near out of the projects. Like, if we being honest,
Out of PSAL.
out of, you know what I mean? So he had to earn that. And like, me, Ethan, Kelly, we thought we was next from the building. And so that was really what it was. It wasn't really about no extra blueprint to it. It was just like, yo, you got to work. You got to put the work in. And like, they came in and humbled us and showed us that, yo, it's about the work. And then when you go out there and you play, the people that need to see you, they gonna acknowledge that.
So when you go out and play, and they put together these environments, these situations to put you young guys in. I watched some of your. I wouldn't call it incomplete. I know it's a work in progress with Steven.
Yeah.
But I watched a couple of those episodes, and one of the things that stood out to me was you call it the Garden, right? Not Madison Square Garden, ladies and gentlemen, but Coney Island, the Garden. People from Coney Island know what that means. Basketball court right over there, not Whitehead space, but a different space, where it got real.
Yeah.
You are quoted as saying it was Dykeman and Rucker before Dykeman and Rucker.
I stand on that.
Why do you feel that way?
Stand on it. We I mean, all of the top dudes in the city came to Coney Island to play. I remember the first time I seen Devontae Grace, you know what I mean, play in Coney Island. He had the nickname Dancing Bear. Truck Bryant, he got Truck from Coney Island, that nickname. Corey Fisher coming down to play. I remember when he ain't have no basketball sneakers. And, Tiny being who he is, he had some pro models in his trunk, doing some pro models just to go hoop for the night game.
Tough.
And so, like, it was really that. And the mic, the you know what I mean, the microphone, the music.
MC vibes, yeah.
We had all that. And so, like, the park would get packed same way Dykeman and Gersh do, by 7, 8 for them last 2 games. And, we would all try to get our spot just to watch the older guys play.
In terms of time frame, this is still 8th grade, 7th grade, middle school vibes.
Yeah. And so, like, that was it. Like, that for us, that was, I mean, you got the vibes right downstairs. I mean, it's summertime. That was all we needed. That was the only inspiration we needed. And then watching Lance come as he was coming up, him playing up, being in 8th grade. You know what I mean? It was just like inspiring for me. Because ain't nobody wanted to be like Lance more than me and Coney Island. I don't care what nobody say. I wore his number. He'll tell you that. Like, ain't nothing. I went to every one of his high school games. I was throwing elbows. That nigga's just like he was.
Okay, so let's take a little detour then. Why was Lance so influential for you then?
I think it's because I watched him so close, and his dad and my dad is like real close. So I would know like everything about Lance, like even before he would know it. Like, so because his dad had come up to the crib, they'd watch the games, whatever. Big Stretch would be telling my pops like, yeah, Lance got to go to Adidas Nations tomorrow. I hope he ready. Or Lance got to go to USA's. I hope he ready. So I'm middle school. Like, and I'm just getting amped off the fact that, oh, like, yo, Lance about to go to Adidas Nations. I bet. I hope he kill, and I want like a pair of shorts like that. Like, and so then watching him, like I'm watching him go in 4 straight. I'm literally at every one of the games watching him like just be the Kobe of PSAL, and it was just incredible to watch.
You're sorry, but your AAUs then, right? So we have your AAUs still in the Garden. Some of that came from the Garden, those different matchups, and then traveling. What was your AAU experience like, and what was it compared to what it is now?
It was funny. It was very different. So my situation a little different, and I'm gonna shout out a couple of different people because I know they're gonna see this, and I don't want them getting in their bag. Shandu McNeil is a very important person in my life. From originally from Far Rockaway.
Okay.
He played at St. Bonaventure. He right now is the program director at New York Lightning.
Oh wow.
I played with.
Just graduated from St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I played with Shan. So I'm a quick story, real quick. So I moved from Coney Island to Far Rockaway when I was like maybe 8-9 years old. Just for like a year. You know what I mean? My mom, whatever they, you know what I mean? My mom and dad going through whatever. I'm small, so I don't really know the details. So we moved to Far Rock. Now, if you ask me why Far Rockaway, I don't know. My mother won't even tell me to this day, right? So we moved, and I'm like, it's like recess, and I'm like just playing outside, whatever the case is. And a guy by the name of Orlando, shout out to O, he was like the school safety. He was a basketball dude. Like he had put teams in Lincoln Park or like that type of vibe. He saw me and he was like, yo, he pulled me over. He was like, yo, like, what's your name? You got some game, whatever. I give him my information. Like, yo, your mom number? I'm like, nah, but she coming to pick me up at 2 if you want to holler at her. Long story short, he got my information, and he was the first person, besides the Coney Island vibe, to put me in that AAU loop. And he kind of connected me with Shan, and like my life kind of like took a change for the good after that.
Got you. Right. So go from AAU, right? Now let's go into high school, all right? So we already know you went to Christ the King, right? Freshman year, win the chip as a freshman, and now we go to sophomore year. Now you're on varsity. You win the chip varsity your sophomore year, if I'm correct. You have two city championships and a state championship at Christ the King. Talk about the moments that you had getting from freshman, winning the chip, first wet behind the ears, whatever we want to call it, and you starting to show people like, yo, I'm really like that on the court. I can really produce. I can really hold my own against guys that have probably been already on the court 3 years already. So talk about that environment you put yourself in.
I tell people it changed my life from a basketball standpoint of notoriety. Straight up, like I was known in the city because playing with like Ethan and Killian Whitehead and Truck Flood in middle school, we was smacking all the AU teams and stuff like that. But like nationally and all of that stuff, like it changed my whole trajectory. Like I was in Slam magazine at 15, like, and nobody really in New York besides like maybe Lance or Bassie or Steph was kind of like in that vibe. I tell people like I was popping when it was hard to be popping at that time. Like now it's easy, you know what I mean? You get a coach that knows somebody, you post a little bit on the gram, you're good. And so like the pressure that I was facing, being that I took a different route. I didn't go to Lincoln. I was never going to Lincoln.
Most Coney Island cats do go to Lincoln.
Yeah. I was never going to Lincoln. It was either going to be Rice or Christ the King just because I was playing with Shan. And like Shan was kind of, having my mindset and like, yo, listen, if you be different, you could kind of still make it this way. So, I didn't go to Lincoln, and like my whole thing was like, yo, I got to make this work because the hood going to be like, yo, he changed on the hood and he went over there, and like it's just going to be a lot of politics. So like I even went against my pops. I mean, my pops played with Steph at Lincoln, and I kind of like lied to him, told him I was coming. I'm talking about Lincoln, and I didn't go. I had wound up moving to the Lower East Side with my moms, so that way, the commute was closer, and went to Crazy King. And so, it was a lot of pressure, but like I'm from Coney Island, you know what I mean? I was built for it, and so my first varsity game against Thomas Jefferson, Edson Avila, Taekwon Gullit, Devontae Grace, they had a crew. I had about 17 and 5. I played like 30 minutes. I got the interview with MSG Varsity. Mike Quick was like, yo, he the best sophomore in the city. And my confidence just went like, it was over.
So when you get, I like to ask guys that have high school stardom,
Yeah.
or definitely across New York City. When you're in the midst of your moment, playing on big time stages in front of big time people, what's the mindset like? What's it like? You're still not even 18 yet, and you getting all the notoriety, whether it's girls, scouts, coaches, whatever it is. How do you handle that, or how did you try to handle that?
For me, it was hard, bro. It was hard because I had a lot of different people in my ear, or trying to sway me a different way. Like I was dealing with agents. I was dealing with all type of people. So it was hard for me, and that's why I think, you know, my role kind of ended up being the way it did, because I was letting too many people in. Like as soon as somebody was like, "Yo, here, I got X amount of dollars in a pair of sneakers," I was taking it. And you know, my dad, he was trying to tell me like, "Yo, we need to kind of like tighten the circle up," but it was easy. Like I'm the #1 player in New York. Like dude, my phone was buzzing every day. So like it became a thing where it's like, man, if this is gonna be what it's gonna be, I don't want to change it because I like the attention. I like, you know, I like to walk into school. All the girls is like, yeah, this and that. I like all that. When in reality, I really needed somebody to kind of check my ego, and say, yo, listen, it's really about the work. But I didn't really have that, and when I did, I didn't really listen.
Question then. So you say you needed somebody to check your ego, let you know like, yo, bro, like this is, you need to be on this path, you need to be doing this. Is that not happening in the hood in Coney Island? Because I know Coney Island is tight knit.
I'm glad you asked that.
With whoever is coming up, or whatever the case may be. You see it all the time. You see it right now. Yeah. Guys coming up at Coney Island, or just whoever's lit in Coney Island, they have support of the hood. Yeah. Where was your support, or where was your backbone to say, yo, young homie, I don't like that. This is what this comes with.
I'm glad you asked that. I ain't really have it. And that's what really hurts me to this day. Like it was only one person, you know what I mean, out of the Coney Island family that reached out to me when I was like fucked up, and it was 530. It was 530. He was the one to kind of get me out of my shell. Bro, it was times I didn't want to leave the house, you know what I mean, because I just, how you go from a top 50 player, you know what I mean, damn near McDonald All-American, to like nothing. And I knew that, you know, everywhere I go, every game I go to, whatever, I'll be the laughter of the park or the laughter of the gym. Like, yo, look at him, you know what I mean? Like, he was whoop, and now he here.
This is still in high school.
This is still high school. My senior year. And so, I just ducked off. And it's crazy because I got a brother like Josiah who everybody know, you know what I mean? And he do the street ball stuff. He do all that. He had a great high school career himself. You know what I mean? Honorable mention. He got him a city and a state, played for some really good teams. And he would go to games all the time. And he'd be like, yo, such and such asked about you. Such and such asked about you. And I'd be like, a word? He'd be like, yeah. And it'd be like, just whatever. All right. So, yeah, it was.
So let's make sure we getting everything clear, because I know this is very, it means a lot to you. I can see it, right? Yeah. So I know you said your senior year. Before we get there, we're definitely gonna get there. So we're gonna put a pin in that a little bit. So with the Christ the King situation, you go. I remember reading an article. You were benched in 2012 playoffs. Yeah. For whatever reason, it was said that it wasn't academic, so you didn't fail off. Could you try to let us know what was behind that? And that was your junior year. Yeah. So you don't end up going back to Christ the King after that. So what, if you could give us, if it's not too much information, talk to the people. Why were you benched, and then we didn't see you after that, and then now you're in another jersey? Yeah. So go ahead.
It was leading up to that, right? I was a kid that, like, I was big headed. Like I said, I got 2-3 high power agents on my phone. I know I'm going high major. Like I said, at that time, if I just stay the course, I'm probably gonna make the McDonald's game because I'm the highest ranked player out of New York, whatever. And so I wasn't really a dude that you could really sit down. You know what I mean? You had to, like, kind of prove it to me, like where you played, who you know, et cetera, for me to listen. And so I started getting big headed, and I started not really, understanding that it's a process. And Arbitello just kind of got tired of it. You know what I mean? It was a thing. He was trying to change some ways that I had, body language, being a leader. I remember too, like, I'm playing point guard, so I gotta lead guys. Like at Christ the King, I remember my junior year, I had like 4 TV games. Like we played on ESPN twice, CBS, and then like somewhere like another major like TNT or something like that. And so he trying to like straighten me up in a way of getting me prepared. But I wasn't. I was just like, yo, like, why you yelling at me? Like, why you doing this to me? Why you doing that to me? Not understanding that he getting me ready. And that was all it was. It wasn't nothing major that I did or said. It was just like he was tired of all of the extra shit that I was coming with. I was just coming with too much, and he wanted to kind of keep it basketball, and I was like, worried about all of the other shit. And so that was all it was. He got tired of it, and me being big headed like I was. I took that, I took it personal.
Okay, so I have a quote here from Mr. Arbitello. This is from a New York Post article after your benching. It says, this is what the article reads. It says, according to Lewis's coach, his junior guard is a natural scorer who has really worked on playing the point and is now turning the corner. Recently, Lewis had been talking about committing, and Arbitello said that he felt his player had been looking to speed up the recruiting process before deciding that he needed to take a step back and take his time. So when you hear that, you've probably already seen this quote before.
Yeah.
And now that when you say that, how much of it was the push and pull of the typical New York City, I know I'm here or I feel I'm here, but I need to show that what the results of that is, whether it's offers, things like that. So why do you think personally, besides of course you saying you're getting big headed, but what was the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back with that relationship there?
I never said this, and that's why I'm glad we having this. But it was a tug of war with where I wanted to go to school. So I wanted to go to Kansas originally. Like I was set on it. I had told them I was coming, etc. I got the offer my sophomore year after the City of Palms. I had got all tournament. I played lights out, Austin Rivers, all those dudes, and I was all tournament with these guys. And I got the offer my sophomore year, and I was hell bent on it. Like I'm talking to Joe Dooley and Curtis Townsend and all of the coaches there, Norman Roberts, and they're like, yo, listen, Tyshawn Taylor is leaving. You coming in, and we gonna keep it rolling. And so I think he was more about Villanova. He loved Villanova a lot, and I know him and Jay Wright got a real tight relationship. And I think that played a part in it because I wasn't even thinking about Nova at all. Like, I had went a couple times, see Fish is up there, we all cool, but I'm like, man, I'm going to Kansas. And I think that played a huge part because I didn't even give them, like, not even an inch of thought. It was like, yo, I know where I want to go. And once he figured that, things started to change a little bit because it was just like, I don't know, to this day, I don't know. Me and my pops always talking about it. I don't know if promises was talked about. I got you. He definitely coming, etc. That might have played a factor, but that's to me, that's what I think it was. It was like a tug of war because I had my mind fixated on one school. He had his mind fixated on another, and we wasn't seeing eye to eye. So now you add that on top of everything else in the middle. It just was like chaotic.
Okay, so then that brings this question. The recruiting process period, right? Whether it's official offers or you're just like, yo, I'm trying to get to this school and I'm making sure that they get an eye on me. Whatever the case was, how do you gauge the fact that potentially your recruiting process wasn't what it was supposed to be? Whether it's you fixated on one school, somebody else had something in mind for you, or you just didn't open your eyes to see like, okay, one way is not the only way to get to where I want to get to.
I think it was the fact that I had so many people in my ear, you know what I mean? And I think that I never really could sit down from all 3 of my years there. It was so much pressure on me that I never sat down and just thought about anything. It was like boom, 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 boom.
Everything like, moving too fast?
Too fast. And so like I'm 16, 15, 16, 17 at this time. So it's like I remember like after my sophomore year, New York Post, I don't think I've ever even seen this again. New York Post wanted to do a diary thing with me. And I wound up doing it like on some like when I wake up, tell them what I did, what I ate, this, that, and
like life was, almost.
Yeah, and it was like I never even had heard of that, and I was following. So like it was that I was going through, and it was like, yo, this is a lot. And I always tell my pops, like, me and him, you know, got into it a couple times because I wish he would have been a little more involved in terms of telling certain people no, but it almost felt like it was just me. You know what I mean? And then I don't really got that Coney Island support like Whitehead had, like Lance had, like Bassie had. So it's like, damn, I'm over here doing my thing, but it's just like if I make it, I'm going to make it. If I don't, it's just like, shit, I ain't got the support anyway. So that was why it was just like a lot all at once. Everything was just going so quick for 15, 16, 17-year-old that it was like, I ain't have like nobody like Ethan like had Bassie make it. I ain't have that. It was me. So it was like a lot.
When did you embrace the fact that this is not the story of a Bassie, this is not the story of a Whitehead, this is not the story of a such and such? When did you embrace that, like, look, Christ the King, the run at Christ the King is now behind me. Yeah. I'm at this last school, and I got to make decisions. When did you really put it together and be like, okay, I have to own this, and now I got to move forward?
I never really did because I was supposed to be the next one. I was supposed to be the next one to go to the NBA, and I never really did because I see like the shade people throw. You know what I mean? I read in between the lines, and it's like it's still a lot of competition. And the thing is, in a way, it's funny to me because I feel like people still got that respect for me to be in competition with me because they understand that had I not made that one decision, niggas know. Like, you know what I mean? I'd have been there. And so, like, it didn't start really sitting with me until probably a couple years after. But I really, because the thing is, like I said, like I'm reading articles and they telling me like, and they writing about me like, if he does this, he's an NBA player. If he does that, like this. So now my head, like I said, I'm 17. So my head at this time, like, is like, yo, I'm going to the NBA. I got 2 agents that I was like, damn near on payroll with. Like, if whatever I needed, a date, a fly somewhere, they like, yo, whatever you need. So, like, you can't tell me I'm not going to the NBA. All I got to do is maintain my ranking, you know what I mean, make the All-American game, whatever, and I'm good. And so when that wasn't the case, it was like, yo, wait, what just happened? So now I'm trying to dissect everything that happened. And by that time, shit, I'm already out of college. You know
all right. So by that time, you just say you're already out of college. So was college... Talk to me. You went to Temple, and then you went to a JUCO, correct?
I went to a JUCO first, then Temple, then the Division II.
So we hear that a lot from different New York City guys, whether it's where they start is not always where they finish, transfer portal, all that good stuff. What was your college experience like?
Same thing. It was like a whirlwind. So, I ended up having to go to junior college just because, like, in high school. So my senior year, I transferred to 2 different schools. So, if you notice, right, I was like ranked on all of the major websites. And then in my senior year, I just wasn't ranked at all. There's no way in the span of 4 months, those guys still see me play AAU. I was still doing what I was doing. I had ran into a dude at the Christ the King game last year when they played Stepanak, one of the ranking guys. And he was like, yeah, I said, you know what's funny? I was just talking about you. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. You know how you dropped out of the rankings out of the top 100? I was like, what happened? He was like, yo, we didn't even know where you was at. He was like, yo, we didn't, because you was just moving around so much. We didn't even know, like, what school you was at. We didn't even know. Because, like, people don't know. I transferred from Christ King going into my senior year. I went to St. Patrick's in New Jersey. I literally was there for about 3 months. Then I went to prep school in Florida. So, like, yeah, like, at that point, I'm not even giving myself a chance to even try to get it back, nothing. So, when you rolling out of college, I went to 3 different junior colleges, all 3 of my years.
So there's no consistent film of what Isaiah is doing recently.
Yeah. Nobody knows. It's like, yo, I don't even know. He said that, and I was like, damn. I kind of like put my head down a little bit, like, damn, like that's crazy. He was like, yo, we ain't know where you was at. Like, to even come see you again, come check you out, see, like, you know what I mean, how you playing. We ain't know where you was at. And then that rolls over to college. Like, I went to 3 different junior colleges. You know what I mean? So it's like now at this point, I'm questioning, you know what I mean? I'm questioning my confidence. I'm questioning everything. Because, like, I don't know who to believe, who to trust. I don't know nothing. And it's just me. Like, I went from minimal support to none now. Like, nobody besides, like, my mother, my girlfriend at the time, and, like, my brother. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now I'm like, all over the place mentally, and this shit hurting me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, like, I just went from this to that. but I'm still trying to stay confident, but it's getting tougher. It's like, yo, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to continue to do this.
So that's crazy how you just said that. But these a lot of stopgaps, bro. And when I always ask what, like, one thing that's ringing in my head of is one thing that you need in basketball is consistency.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So why is it that you couldn't stay even leaving Christ the King, right? Screw it. You're not there anymore. Then you get to college. We're not even going to talk about the last year. You get to college. Whatever the case was, JUCO start here. Why wasn't there a path of consistency at all?
I was running from the grind. Simple. You know what I mean? Coaches was trying to coach me, and I was so used to being that Christ the King, being the man, playing through mistakes, the ball in my hand, cameras in my face, that I wasn't used to nothing else. So, like, if you're not playing me 30 minutes, you're not letting me play through mistakes, I'm out. And, like, that was literally what it was. It was just me running from the grind, running from being coached, running from being held accountable. And, you know, I I had to learn that, like, yo, like, this is really what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, it was basically, that was basically what it was. I mean, I was just running from the grind. You know what I'm saying?
So the grind, right? So, like, I want to question it a little bit because people from New York City usually are about the grind.
Yeah.
Was the bright lights too much? And I don't want to make it seem like you weren't ready for it, but was, like, realistically thinking back on it, were the bright lights too much? Was the New York City pressure of still putting on even when you feel like the people don't got you?
Yeah.
Right? Was that too much for you? That's why you just decided, if this coach not jacking me, then all right, screw it. I'm gonna find somebody that is about me.
Right. Nah, it wasn't that. I just wish I would have had more support.
Mm-hmm.
If I got more support from from my neighborhood, or I got more support from the people I thought, you know, had me when things was going good, now that puts the battery in my back to understand, like, yo, keep going. You know what I mean? You got some life.
What about family?
Yeah, it was there, but not as much. Not as much. Because, like I said, like, at this point, I'm kind of letting everybody down. Like I said, like, why you
okay.
Like, damn, Isaiah, you had it all. Like, why you ain't just stay? Christ the King, why you ain't just stay? Why you ain't just go to commit to this school? Why you ain't just do it like this? So because now they looking at it from a standpoint of, like, yo, now you in your third junior college, you could have just stayed at Christ the King. You would have been everything you wanted to be, maybe been a first-round pick, whatever it might have been. Mm-hmm. So now you got to do this, do that, fight for. So now I'm just kind of like in that, you know what I mean? I'm in that phase right now of trying to earn everybody's trust back or whatever it may be, even family. And so it was tough.
So when I know, excuse me for forgetting the past guest that kind of had this demeanor. I think it was Bryce Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Bryce Jones.
Right.
When I talked to Bryce before I asked him, why is it that I only see you when I see you, but then when I see you, it's everybody knows what time it is.
Yeah.
Being that guy that's a loner almost, being that guy that doesn't want to be around everybody, the politics of it all, whatever it is. Did you turn into that guy?
Sure.
That you just said, you know what, I don't like what's going on, whether it's my fault or somebody else's. All this chatter, I don't need to hear it no more.
That was absolutely who I became. Like I told you, I didn't when they announced when New York Post put former Christ the King star, I think I got the tweet, former Christ the King star has to go junior college, Hutchinson, whatever he put.
Mm-hmm.
I went into a shell because I already knew what the talk was going to be. I already knew what it was about to be about. I went into a shell, and it was hard for me to accept that because that's not usually who I am. I'm somebody, like, you know what I mean, I'm bright lights, like, I'm here, like, you know, I'm from 31st, like, I'm Coney Island, like, this is what we do. And so for you asking a guy like that to go into a shell like this, that shit is, like, unnormal for me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I absolutely became that person that was blaming everybody else. That was like, you know what I mean? I was just like, yo, like, I'm at the crib with it. I ain't going to no games.
I've been there.
You know what I mean? I'm down and out right now. And I was that for a couple years too. That's what I tell people that. Somebody just asked me the other day, like, yo, like, when you went through all that stuff, like, was it quick? Like, did you come out of it quick? I'm like, nah, I was for a couple years.
So who took you out, or who helped you get back?
Myself. I think once I made it to the Division I level, it was like, all right, it's some life for me. And so when I kind of was on that stage again, where it was like I'm seeing the guys I used to compete with against in high school and camps, I'm like, all right, cool, like, all right, I'm getting it back.
I'm in
And
the
then it was
pool.
like, yeah, I started smiling again, I'm laughing again, etc. And then it was like, yo, all right, cool, I could probably, you know what I mean, bounce back from this. So it was once I got out of that junior college, like, whatever stigma, and finally made it to the level I was supposed to have been at, it was like, all right, cool. All of that stuff was worth it because I probably needed it. So now let's see, you know what I mean? Let's see what this is about.
Okay, so from that time in college to overseas, what was one thing that you learned in college though that once you started your overseas career, you was like, okay, this is what's gonna keep me alive over here?
First, staying healthy, like being in shape, like, because the thing is, I you know, at Temple and stuff like that, like my minutes fluctuated. I didn't play some games, some games I did, whatever, but always staying ready, like being a professional and having that mindset. And even to this day, like, you know what I mean, like that's just something. I'm like working out, like I gotta work out before anything. Like, you know what I mean, I wake up 7 a.m. That's just my routine. Wake up 7 a.m., get it in for about 2 hours, end it with the sauna. That's just how I am. I'm gonna probably do that until I die. But I think staying in shape, and then, you know what I mean, just the maturity. Like I was able to like finally be on my own, fight my own demons. You know what I mean? Like you know, just think on my own. Going and playing overseas is it's a lot of being on your own. And so I was able to be ready for that because I had went through that. I had been through that. And then, you know, just getting over tough days. Like, you know what I mean? Damn, I miss the family. You know, I got a 3-year-old daughter. So when I was playing over 2 years ago, she was 1. So, you know, that part, etc. And then, to be honest, too, I just got to say this. There's also a lot of cap, too, with the overseas shit.
Oh yeah, trust me. I'm trying to for guys that have been in overseas, I'm trying to let the younger guys that are coming up hear about these things. So go ahead, talk about the cap.
Yeah, it's a lot of cap. Like, I mean, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm fortunate to, like, you know, have my own crib, my own car, and all that right now. It took work, but like, be honest, bro. Like, I know a lot of dudes over there. They doing it just for the gram, straight up. Like, they doing it just to take the pics, so that way when they come back, know what I mean, like, and playing the street boy joints, dudes could. That's it. Like, niggas is like no cribs, no cars. Like, know what I mean, they get their little 8,000-9,000, go to the yams, spend it on Miami and some chicks, and then be back at mom's crib. Like, and this is I know them, and so for me, like, you know, I played 4 years, and being that I went through all of the stuff I went through, my whole mindset was like, yo, like, shit, I'm saving my bread. Like, I need a crib. Like, I need this, I need that. I wasn't thinking about all of the other shit. Like, that's gonna come, and so, like, I say it's cap because it's just like, yo, what I shouldn't be able to tell that you played overseas for chips. I should be able to look at you and say, all right, he pulled up on me, and you know what I mean, in a little nice toy. You know what I mean? He you know what I mean? He okay, he looking clean, he looking like, I shouldn't be able to tell, like, yeah, he was over there and made 1,000. He was over there and played for 800. And that's what I'm seeing. And so it's just a lot of like of that type of cap going on, and it's like, you know, it's cool, but I know the real because I've done it. So it's like, man, listen, if you ain't got your own space, you ain't really playing overseas for real. That's just how I look at it. Like, if you ain't coming back to your own crib, hopping in your own whip, you know what I'm saying, making sure your family good, you ain't really playing. You just playing for the grand. And I think that's what's really going on. Like, right now, it's just a lot of playing for the grand, posted pics, couple chicks slide in the DMs. I get it, but like, niggas getting older.
What about for the love of the game? You don't think guys is hooping over there for the love, feeling that they potentially might not have gotten, or there's the opportunity that arise was overseas and not in the States?
Oh, for sure. No, you got the ones that really just love to hoop. Like, I don't care if you give me $100, right? Of course, but at that point now, it's just like, if you going over there killing and stuff like that, like, what do you really work? Because the thing is, if you go over there right now and take a $500 deal, that's gonna be your worth, because that team's talk. Yeah, how much you paid them? Oh, all right, cool, all right, bet. So we gonna give him 800. He'll come, like that. So I get the love of the game part, but like, once you get to the professional side of things, like, you you your own brand. So like I'm not going nowhere just for bullshit money because I got a 3-year-old, I got a rent to pay, like I got shit like I really got to do in real life. So it's just like nah, like you're not really getting me with the bullshit. Like I just literally had a deal right now. Can I show you this? I want to show you this just to be transparent on camera, like real talk. I literally just had a deal that my agents threw me from Lithuania. I just want you to read the first two sentences and look at the date. We're February 12th. Now that's a professional contract right there.
These 2 lines right here?
Yeah, the first, you can read the whole thing if you want, but it's just like bad deals like that.
Made on February 6, 2024, buying between basketball club such and such, and then it drops his name. And
but look how terrible that deal is. Like, so if I just want to impress the gram, I'm taking that. But the maturity me knowing I got my own family, I got my own things.
Oh, I see it now. I see the
like,
I see the number. Yeah, I see the number.
But that's what people is. That's what these guys are doing. I'm telling you. And
that's
so
per game.
A month.
A month. Oh yeah.
You feel me? Like, so like I'm looking. I ain't even respond to that. Like, and it's no like I'm not trying to act cocky. It's just like, bro, I got a whole rent, bro. Like, come on, man. I ain't with moms. I don't live with my girl. Nah. So I can't afford that type of stuff. But I know a bunch that are, and it's cool. But it's just like, we getting older, bro. Like,
so with that sense of maturity, that sense of newfound responsibilities, being a father, when that moment came up, I want to ask you. I always ask guys that have kids or one child, whatever. What was that moment like when your child is brought into the world, and then now you realize you got to do all these things to make sure they're good?
Yeah.
Before you.
Yeah, it was pride. It was joyful, but then shit just got real all in one. Cause it's like now it's not about me no more. So I'm a dude.
Even when I only cut you off because you just said it's not about you no more. But over the past few years, it's been about you.
Yeah, in a sense though, because that's part of the reason why I'm home right now a little bit. Cause like I said, I just showed you I could go on and show you 4 more. That if it was about me and basketball, I would have been gone. But it's like now I'm thinking about, okay, how much? Let me see the whole contract. Let me see exactly what's going on because of my daughter. So that's where it gets tricky in terms of it's about me in terms of I love the game. I you know what I mean. But now I got to really read fine print and like it got to make sense because I got a whole 3-year-old I got to feed. So like that's where it gets like, you know what I mean, where it's like that fine line. But she man, look, I think she's gonna be just like me. You know what I mean? I hope, you know what I mean. Listen, our mother played, I played, so hopefully. You know
so it runs in the family.
Hopefully. Hopefully, man.
So let's get to here. So when we hear all of these things, right? Is there a moment in your story where you potentially regret anything?
Leaving Christ again. Yeah, leaving. I think that's gonna like not haunt me, but it's a situation where it's gonna affect me in a way. Cause what could have been if I just stuck it out for 1 more year, we would have been doing this interview in my big house somewhere, whatever city, and it'd have been, you know what I mean. And I think that because I don't think that I think people still look at me from that to this day. Like
10 years later?
10 years later. And I'm gonna tell you why, right? So I worked out for 2 NBA G League teams about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I saw one with the Jazz.
Yep, and the Nets.
Okay.
And I had really good workouts. Like the Nets joint, I was, my agent told me from the GM's mouth that I was the best player there. And then the Jazz joint, I was the best point guard there. So in both workouts, I'm the best or whatever or top, right? And
in the considerations, yeah.
Right. And the Jazz was close to calling me back to bringing me to training camp. Brooklyn had told me some things, whatever. Both situations didn't happen. And so one of the questions that I was asked from one of the teams was, why'd you leave Christ the King? I'm not gonna say which team. But one of the questions that I was asked was, why'd you leave Christ the King?
Wow.
And I was like,
I mean, that's that FBI background check that they talk about, but that's,
Yeah, they was like, why'd you leave? And I was just like, damn, you seriously asking me that? And they was like, yeah. And I gave him the whole spiel, whatever. But I was like, yo, and the thing is, I think that because talent wise, like, man, I've hooped with Kyrie. I've done it all, and like, they all ask like, yo, why you ain't at least the G League? At least I'm like, yo, I don't know. Like, I'm ready. I'm always be ready. I got a few opportunities where I was able to really go show, but I don't know. And so I think that it's part of that is that, and then obviously, it's political. You know what I mean? They whatever, they probably feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I could have played more years overseas, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's still sticking with me, and it's kind of like fucked up in a way, because it's like, yo, like, y'all fought with me for something when I was 16.
Yeah.
I can't, like, so you trying to tell me, like, I can't make that up? I know dudes who did worse things that, you know what I mean? So it's like, damn, like, and I'm sitting there and I'm realizing, like, damn, that shit really must have been a big thing. And I guess it was, because I feel like, I still get a little bit judged off it, a little bit.
Do you feel like, why do you think people should stop caring about that time of your life now?
I've changed. I've learned. I've grown. I'm changed. Like, I'm 29, and I've been through everything, like every up and down. And I think that if you judge me now, you would understand that, like, I was just somebody that was all over the place at that time. I had a lot of success coming at me quick. I'm from Coney Island, from New York City, and it was just a lot. Now, going through all of that, learning from all of that, like, judge me now. And I don't know, maybe I get I mean, I was close. So, maybe I get another one. I'm gonna be ready for it, but judge me now. That's just what I ask anybody in terms of in that that NBA circle that might have knew who I was or know of me. Just judge me now. Judge me now on my character, how I talk to you, if I look you in your eyes, how I shake your hand. Just judge me now. That's all I ask. And so, yeah, I mean, I know Utah did, I know Brooklyn did, and they said good things about me. We just don't understand why I'm not on one of those teams.
In terms of the relationships that you probably messed up in your youth, doing whatever you were doing, living the life that you were living, how much of those relationships have you mended since that time? Or has it been, that's just one part of the life and I've pushed that away?
Nah, that's a great question. A couple of them I have, being with Arbitello. So my little brother, Jalen Lewis, he ended up going to Christ King and playing there for 3 years. And me and Arb sat down and we talked for about 2 hours. And it was things that I left unsaid because I was just so much worried about shaking it up with him and then getting my brother in there that I regret unsaying it. Ways I felt, ways I feel like, he kind of left me for dead. Like, people don't know, like, I was his first recruit, and I'm from Coney Island. You know how big that is? Like, so for him to dive in and go get a Coney Island kid as his first recruit, as, head coach at Christ the King is big. So we was, like, kind of making history together. And he'll tell you that. Like, he told me that, like, yo, we was kind of both fresh and young. And you was like, I was bringing in, I was like, we on ESPN. I'm bringing in the cameras. He got to do interviews. Every high major school is coming to see me. It's just like, it's a lot. So I get his standpoint of it, but it's like, you're supposed to hold me down. Now, I mean, you're supposed to keep it 10 toes and hold me down 1,000%. You wasn't supposed to let me just fall like that. You know
in terms of the coach-player relationship, as in not letting you, okay.
Yeah. You're supposed to hold that down. Like, if you knew I wanted to leave or was thinking about leaving or whatever, you was supposed to, like, hold that down, because he knew my circle was all over the place. That was one of the things that he would tell me is my problem. Like, yo, you dealing with, like, yo, this dude called me yesterday about you. Then I had this dude call me, like, you dealing with too many people. And I'm like, oh, what you want me to do? Like, my pops, he you know what I mean, he doing what he doing or whatever. He not, my mom's, she just cared about school, and my grades was, like, fairly solid, so that was it. The basketball stuff, I said, go ahead. And so, like, when I'm barely home in the summers because I'm in L.A., this camp, she just making sure I got some money in my pocket to eat, and that's it, and I'm safe. So I'm like, I needed that guidance or whatever from you but he was, worried about where I was going to school, I guess, or Villanova, I guess.
You
whatever.
think? I asked this question because it's interesting because me being at NAS, and realizing how Coach G Irv is his relationship with Halon, his star player, and the other guys as well.
I see that.
Right? You see how he's real stern with certain guys, no matter if it's the first guy, the top guy, or the last guy. How much of that do you see, whether it's people in New York City watching high school kids now? Do you think that player-coach relationship, how important is that for any success?
Very, because you gotta remember, like, I gotta know, like, or the kids gotta know, like, they got your back through it all. It's gonna be a lot of things that they go through in their high school career, like with girls, grades, parenting at home. They like, the one thing that they're gonna know that they have is their coach every day. Like, so I know I could go talk to my coach. I know my coach. So like that part is very important, because that's like basically like his second dad or whatever, brother, whatever, however you want to say it. You know what I mean? So you kind of need that to like mend certain things. I know for me, and I'm a say this, but I don't, you know what I mean? I had brought in the assistant coach at Christ the King. I played for him. I played AAU for him at New Heights. I'm not gonna say his name, right? And when we was going into our Christ the King meeting to go there, I told Arbitello, I said, yo, I'm not coming unless you hire this dude. So he was like, all right, if that's what you want, all right, cool. He gonna be on board. And I haven't spoken to this guy, this person, like maybe like, I don't know, it's been years. And it's fucked up to me, because it's like, that's part of the problem. Like, I've seen so many people that I put on, that I helped, man, I was doing things like this in high school. I was calling coaches that was recruiting me to go recruit my friends. Like, yo, go offer him. Like, I was on that. So it's like, this is a dude I put, like, he essentially like married somebody at the school, started a family. Like, without me, you don't even get that. And you can't check up on a guard. Like, it's just like that. So I'm thinking deeper into it. Like, even like, fuck basketball. If you think I messed up, I ain't signed with the agent you wanted me to, I ain't do the right thing with the college, I ain't picked the right school, all that is cool, but like, you just gonna abandon me like that and I put you on? Like, you know what I mean? So
Before the stardom even happened.
Before. So it's like, it's situations like that I've had to like try to mend mentally. And it's just now taking me time to do that, because it's, yo, like, that's crazy. Like, I sat there and was like, yo, I ain't coming unless he come. And he was like, all right, that's what you want? And it was like, it was done. And I can't even get a phone call from him. You know what I mean? Like, shit crazy.
So when I hear you talk about all of these different moments that rub you the wrong way, I know time heals wounds, but are you even at peace with some of these things?
No, because I haven't been able to actually talk to those people. And if I don't, then I probably will never be. If I do, that'll probably help me a lot more. Because I think, like I said, I put a lot of different people in positions when I was on, and it was just like, oh, he ain't make it. So
On to the next one.
And so like, even with Coney Island though, like the same people that was supporting Whitehead and all of them, like, it was like, I want to say maybe 50-60% of them people, they showed me, like, it was like, oh, when I was killing, I was hearing from them. They was coming to my pop's crib. It was love. And then like, when I stopped, it was just like, all right, we just gonna go on the Whitehead bandwagon, and that's fine, cause he from the hood. But it's just like, damn, that's really how it works. Like, I'm giving you shirts off my back from the schools recruiting me. Like, this is facts. You coming to my pop's crib, and I'm like, hey, yo, yeah, I just went up to UConn. Hey, hold that. And it's like, yo, good looking. Like, we watching MSG Varsity, Mike Quick, say, talk, like, so it's like, and so like, I'm able to see all that, and the change happened. That shit hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, bet. You know what I mean?
So that's I don't want to say that's New York City in a nutshell almost, but what needs to change from your experience, from the things that you're trying to instill on the youth now?
Yeah.
What needs to change?
I think I think it starts from the top. The big homies got to be big homies, but like egoless big homies. Like it can't be, all right, cool, I'm a mentor shorty, but like, yo, like I know he gonna be 6'7". He ain't really got his family background a little rough, so I know I could be able to make a dollar off him. Like that's what fucks it up for us. Like if we become one unit, right, and we connect with all of the political people we need to connect with in a genuine way, we can start like a factory. Because now them people, them ESPN, them, all those guys, they gonna keep coming back. Yo, all right, we want the next kids. In LA and all of that, in Seattle, it's a factory because they keep it within and they do right by the people they need to do right by.
I definitely hear about Seattle.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that community a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like yo, like I got like, you know what I mean, a lot of different players. Like I'm playing against like Zach Levine in high school, playing against like you know what I mean, Stanley Johnson, and like they letting me know like, nah, Baron Davis is the big homie in LA. Like, so
you gotta check in with him.
You gotta check in, yo, BD. I need an agent, yo, BD. Like, I'm thinking about transferring, BD. Like, and you know, not to like really talk down on him, but I wish Steph was that for us in Coney Island. I wish he was, and he wasn't, and that's just the facts of it. Like, he wasn't, and the thing is I'm not blaming him for my wrongdoing, but what I'm saying is, if you know how much better it would have been if I could like pick up the phone and be like, yo, Steph. Now, granted, I know he got his own stuff going on and all of that too. Yeah. But I'm saying from a standpoint of if I was able to do that, come on, man. It just would have been like, you know what I mean? It would have been so much better for me because now I'm getting it from like
someone that's been through it.
The big homie, like Steph, like, you know what I mean? So
you're essentially, you're almost saying, whether it's Coney Island or New York, there's nobody in the basketball scene that when someone's coming up, they could be like, or not even coming up, just needed to talk to. There's no starting guy that's be like, yo,
nah, man,
from New York, whether it's Brooklyn, you don't feel like there's any of that in New York City.
I mean, and the thing is you got genuine dudes, so when they see this, they're gonna be like, he tripping, whatever. I get that, but you gotta show me the results.
There's
like,
no one, there's no one starting off something and then passing down to a young cat. He gets where he need to go, and then he keeps passing. There's no chain of command.
Show me. That's how true it is, Sway. Like, I'm doing a middle school camp right now.
I was just about to get to that. That's crazy.
I'm doing a middle school camp. And I got some of the top middle school kids in the tri-state. Ian Archibald is probably, he gonna be and I know, but I think he got potential to make money playing. I'm gonna just say it like that. But also I got a lot of other kids, right? And I did it last year for the free 99. I'm not charging, right? And it was a huge success. I had it at Basketball City, no sponsors, none of that. I just, I was able to get a sponsor for Basketball City, and that was it. And it was a huge success. I had maybe like 5-6 high schools pull up. Shout out to Nate Blue, Real Scout came, Hoop Dreams came, shout out to them. Tippy came through. Shout out to Tip. And like, I was reaching out to different people just to feel it, just to see how people feel. Like, and it was like it was no real support, right? I posted all, dudes just hit me like, yo, you did a great job, whatever. Right now, you seeing everybody else talk about junior high school and middle school. This is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, we so much in competition, and it's cool. Like, if we gonna be in competition for the right reasons, fuck it, let's all just go to battle. But don't do it when you see like, because I don't want him to think he got the best of me. So now I'm gonna go do it on my platform.
Or just because, I think it's working over there. Let me try it for me too.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
But there's also the caveat that is in that's where they may see it from you and be like, damn, I've been wanting to do that for a minute. Let me start my shit up.
And that's a fact. And so like that you also it's also a fine line. Now where I'm gonna challenge you is with some of the people that I'm seeing try to do it, or with some of the people, like, they've had opportunities though, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, I don't know, because some of the people, like, I'm seeing certain people throw certain things out about the youth now, and it's cool. Like, yeah, like, let's do it. But you've had those opportunities, and when you have, it was all about unlimited or this or that. And I'm like, Like, nah, man, like, them grown niggas, they cool. Like, they had
I'll,
their chance.
I'll say this, though, Isaiah, because I'm someone that when I got into this game,
Yeah.
starting to learn it, I was all about unlimited.
Mhm.
Why? Because that was somebody told me, yo, go record these unlimited games at Gersh.
Yeah.
See if Big Homie will let you in. And then from there, that's kind of where people started realizing, like, getting my name type shit, if we're being frank.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I was told about, yo, fuck all the unlimited. Get to the young boys.
Yeah.
I didn't really see it at first, but because I was like, damn, I can't do this and this. It was more about time for me.
Yeah.
But over the years, this is like year 3 into 4 for me. I'm realizing like, yeah, unlimited would always be there because the same young cats that you didn't want to pay attention to might just be the next unlimited star.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? At least in terms of street ball. But
Yeah.
but facts, the youth is where it needs to be. That's where the focus needs to be. Because then when you get to the youth and you nurture them up, you get the guy that I'm looking in front of.
Right.
Whether you nurture them or not.
Right.
Right? So talk about the guy I'm looking at. What's all of these things have been in his mind, all of these things that he potentially want to get off his chest or still wants to the right people.
Yeah.
Right? When people hear Isaiah Lewis, what should they think?
I'm not the kid I was at 16. I've grown so much. And I really want to know why, because I'm gonna be honest. I truly feel like, right? Because I watch. I'm a crazy observer, and I truly feel like what I'm about to say is like I truly feel like the people that have made it higher than me hate on me. Because, and the thing is I'm the most selfless dude. Like you ain't never gonna hear me talk down on nobody because it's just like it's all love. Like, yo, he did his thing, he did his thing, he did his thing. Like it's all love. Like just, and so the reason why I'm saying that is because, like, let's just break it down. Like the support, and I know it's not about support, right? But the support for me is the same because one, I don't really play street ball. Right, I popped out a couple times.
Yeah.
Right, that's one. 2, I'm somebody that I'm not really, like, I'm not on my own body, so to speak. So I'm not posting every other day about what I've done, et cetera, right? 2. 3, it's just like, it's genuine with me. Like, bro, if you feel however you feel, that's because it's on you. We don't got no history like that. Like, I don't know you like that to be on, or somebody that know of me might have said something that rubbed you off the wrong way. But it's no real static because it's like I don't really, my circle real small. Like everybody in Coney Island know like me, Ethan, and Kelly is like this, and that's it. It's like, so it's like that's on you, bro. Like you gotta. And when I went and played in Coney Island for opening day, everybody was out there. It was all love, whatever the case is. And I'm like, damn, like, if I would have just had that same type of vibe or type of love without me playing, then shit, that would have helped with a lot of the mental shit I was going through. Cause that was really all I needed. I just wanted niggas to feel. I just wanted to feel important again. You know what I mean? Cause it was just bad shit happening after bad shit after bad shit. And so like now you seeing like a more older, more mature, a person that can actually come right now and speak on this stuff without me, you know what I mean, having any like type of demonic or hateful things to think on. I mean, I think I'm pretty much healed. You know what I mean? I say I'm probably about 90% healed. You know what I mean? I took therapy all last year when I came back from Europe. And that shit helped me tremendously because it was just like they telling me stuff. I'm like, oh, I ain't never even thought of it like that. And so, yeah, I my whole problem is like, yo, like the people that think they're higher than me are hating on me, and it's because I'm seeing certain things happen, and it's just like, yeah, like you ain't think of that until I posted that, or you ain't, and it's like, yo, like. If that's what it is, then just say that, bro. So it could kind of just be like nip it in the bud. But that's really not what it is. So
all right,
I think that's what it is.
I respect it. So this is the last question, and then anything after that you can say to this camera right here. When it comes to Coney Island, guys, names that you hear, whether it's the T-Borns, the Man-Mans, Cobb Browns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Marburys, the Bashies, the Whitehead, the Lance Stevensons. Should Isaiah Lewis' name be there, and how loud should it ring?
It should absolutely be there, and it should ring just as loud as all of those names, right? The only thing I'm missing is I didn't touch the NBA floor, right? I didn't touch the NBA floor, you know what I mean? But everything else I got, everything else I did. You know what I mean? I you know, my high school career was what it was. You know what I mean? I played Division I, you know what I mean? And then was an all-conference player Division II. You know what I mean? And one of the best Division II leagues in the country, actually. You know what I mean? And then everywhere I played, you know what I mean? I played 4 years overseas, and everywhere I played, you know what I mean? It was just like 18 a game. Mm-hmm. So it's like it'd be funny to me when people don't say my name, but I know it's only for one reason, just because I ain't touched that league floor. If I would have played 2 games, you would have seen my jersey with all of them, with I hit all of them too. But it's that. But the thing is I think that's the problem though, because for the next youngin coming up, you gotta acknowledge a me too. Yo, this is like, look at him. He did this, he did that, and he still was able to carve out a career, make some good money. You know what I mean? Now he good. Or, you know what I mean? Dudes don't even talk about Quincy Doobie like that. And Quincy, my guy, like Quincy played 4 years in the league from Coney Island, played at Grady. And like nobody even really mentioned Doobie. Like my uncle, Jason Coleman, like Josiah. Why doesn't Josiah Lewis get mentioned? I don't understand. He was a starting point guard on a city and state championship team. Honorable mention all city. Why? Cause right, it's just like cause I don't want to give them that love like that, the Lewises, because I don't know, they you know what I mean, they think they too big or whatever they may think. And it's like that's some bullshit. It's either it's coming from a hateful type of vibe or we, you know what I mean, we not with the on the lives all the time, all that. We not with that. We not with that. So y'all don't wanna show that love. I think because why else, resume wise, let me know. Everything, it hits every pinnacle besides, for me, touching the league floor. I done worked out for teams. I done did all that. College, I was high school, I was 4-star consensus. I was this. I got recruited by everybody. Slam. Like what we talking about? All state. I don't get it. So it's like it's the popularity contest now. So I'm not gonna get that nod because I'm like I said, I'm not in the lives. I don't pull up the Gersh. Mm-hmm. I don't do none of that. And it's just like I've only played in my hood last year. Other than that, like Dykeman, I pulled up when I was in high school, but down. I mean, because we years. But so that's why. But of course, you know what I mean, like I was just asking me and my pops were talking about this with Five. He was like, yo, I was like, yo, Five, where do you think I rank out of Coney Island? Am I top 5, top 10, top 15? He's like, yo, we were just talking about. He's like, yo, you definitely like top 12. Like that's Coney Island. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of. So it's like you giving me a top 12, top 15 nod, and it's like, why I don't get mentioned? It's because of that part. I mean, it's just a popularity stunt, and the thing is, I'm gonna stay the same unapologetically. Like, I'm not doing that because it's like, yo, like, for what, bro? Like, I don't care about being most popular on Instagram, but if a nigga like want to smoke on the basketball court, I'm gonna be ready. And like I think I proved that I pulled up opening night, quick like 20-25, quick, and it was just like, and I played against my hood. Me and Josiah, we just did it just for the hood. They're like, oh, you playing? And it was just like, yeah, because I'm in shape. Mm-hmm. I'm hooping. I still respect the game. And it was like a quick 20, like, hey, hold that. And then it was just like, so love. Because, like, that's just who I am. You know what I mean? That's just me.
All right. That's just him. Isaiah Lewis, first and foremost, thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you for trusting me with your story, trusting the fact that I can ask the right questions.
Yeah, nah.
I believe we definitely had a great episode.
Yeah,
here.
for sure. This one was good.
So,
sure.
People, just in case you didn't know, Isaiah Lewis, SwayReporting Live. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And just one thing, just in case you didn't give me my respect, I would like my respect. And he definitely wants his respect too.
Facts.
And that's how we're gonna end it. SwayReporting Live, one-on-one sit-downs. I'ma holla.